When we think of modern survivalism, we often think about high tech gear, solar panels, and water filtration systems that are kind of advanced. But what if we looked to one of the oldest self sufficient communities in America for inspiration? The Amish, known for their simple and sustainable way of life, have been thriving without modern conveniences for centuries. Their time tested tools and the way they do things may be exactly what we need to take a look at to survive an SHTF scenario. So, we're going to take a look at some of the must have items that the Amish rely on, things that could prove invaluable in a true grid down long term emergency. One of the most iconic aspects of the Amish life is their use of manual tools. From farming to woodworking, the Amish excel in using simple, efficient tools powered by nothing more than human or sometimes horse effort. In an SHTF scenario where electricity and fuel may be in very short supply or gone, hand tools like scythes, hand cranked drills, manual saws, and plows pulled by animals could be indispensable. And these tools not only help maintain land and build structures, but they can also keep you thriving even if the grid stays down. And Amish communities are experts in preserving foods, especially through canning and fermentation. In a post SHTF world where access to fresh food may become scarce, knowing how to can vegetables, fruits, and even meats is critical for long term survival. Having a canning kit, jars, lids, and a sturdy wood or gas stove for heat can keep your pantry stocked for years. And the Amish take advantage of the seasons, preserving everything they grow to ensure food security year round, an essential practice when supply chains are disrupted. Storing food without refrigeration of some sort is a challenge that most modern people have no clue how to do, but Amish have a simple solution: root cellars. These underground storage spaces naturally regulate temperatures and humidity, making them ideal for storing root vegetables, canned goods, and even some perishable items like eggs and dairy products if they're prepared correctly. In an SHTF situation, having a root cellar or even a cool underground space could be the difference between eating fresh or relying on only dried or processed food. The Amish rely on oil lamps, kerosene lanterns, and homemade candles to light their homes after dark. In a world where electricity is no longer provided by the grid, like an SHTO situation, having these items on hand is important for nighttime visibility and safety. On top of that, lanterns and oil lamps are more durable and practical than battery powered devices in long term grid down situations because they don't rely on finite power sources. Stocking up on wicks, oil, and beeswax for candle making is a smart option to add to your SHTF preps. Amish homes are typically heated by wood burning stoves, which also double as, of course, their cooking tool. These stoves can heat a home during the coldest winter and allow for cooking, regardless of the state of the power grid. Having access to this type of stove, along with plenty of wood, of course, ensures that you're going to stay warm. You can purify water and cook food without needing propane, gas, or electricity. A wood burning stove is one of the most versatile survival items you can own, and it's a staple in Amish households for a good reason. One of my favorite subjects. Without access to modern healthcare, the Amish have a long tradition of using herbal remedies to treat common ailments. They grow and they harvest their own medicinal plants like echinacea, yarrow, chamomile, comfrey, just to name a few, which are used for everything from treating colds to healing wounds. In an SHTF scenario where pharmacies are no longer an option, having knowledge of herbal medicine and growing your own medicinal plants could save lives. For anyone who believes they're a prepper, learning these skills and stocking up on key herbs is a huge step towards SHTF survival. The Amish often use manual hand pumps to access well water, ensuring a steady supply without any electricity. In a survival situation, having access to clean water is another key to surviving. A manual water pump attached to a deep well can keep you hydrated when modern plumbing systems fail. Consider installing one on your property or having a portable version for emergencies. And while many preppers focus on stored foods and canned goods, the Amish raise livestock for fresh milk, eggs, and meat, ensuring that they have a continuous supply of protein and nutrients. Additionally, they use animals like horses or perhaps oxen for plowing fields and transporting goods. Post SHTF, fuel for machinery is probably going to run out or be extremely scarce and valuable, but animal power doesn't rely on anything besides grass and feed. Raising a few key animals and knowing how to use them for work or food can vastly improve your chances of long term survival. The Amish hand sew most of their clothing using simple things like sewing needles, thread, and foot powered sewing machines. In an SHTF world, the ability to repair or even make your own clothes is often overlooked, but extremely useful. So, stock up on fabric, sewing supplies, and learn the basics of tailoring and sewing. It could be the difference between staying warm and suffering in cold weather when store bought clothes wear out. We actually save our old clothes rather than donate them or throw them out. I put them in airtight containers and store them. And we now have material to make new clothing items if I have to. I know I beat this into y'all's heads, so I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Perhaps the most overlooked item in the Amish way of life is community. They rely on each other for everything from raising barns to sharing food during tough times. In an SHTF scenario, you cannot do it all alone. Building a strong local community of like minded individuals will make survival easier and safer. The Amish barter and trade with each other, ensuring everyone has what they need. And we can learn from this by developing a network of people we believe we trust who can provide goods and services in exchange for what we have to offer. While the world around us becomes more reliant on technology, the Amish remain rooted in the ways of the past. And in doing so, they may hold the key to surviving in a world without modern conveniences. So, by incorporating some of the Amish lifestyle into your prepping strategy, you can ensure that you're prepared for any SHTF scenario, whether it's a natural disaster, economic collapse, or a prolonged grid failure.